before temples, before priests, before holy books, before anyone argued about religion in a comment section, there was a cave, a fire, a group of prehistoric humans with messy hair, cold feet, and one huge question: what is going on? Thunder cracked in the sky. The sun disappeared every night. A mammoth walked out of the fog like a hairy tank. People got sick. People died. And sometimes the dead appeared in dreams. To us, that sounds like weather, biology, and sleep. To them, it probably felt like the world was alive. So today, we are asking a strange question. Who was the first God? And the honest answer is, we do not know. Prehistoric humans did not leave written records saying, "Dear future people, our first god was Greg, Lord of Thunder and bad decisions." But archaeology gives us clues. And those clues are fascinating. The first god may not have been a single god with a name. It may have been an animal, a mother figure, a dead ancestor, the sun, the moon, or the terrifying feeling that something invisible was watching from the dark. Basically, religion may have started when humans looked at nature and thought, okay, this place has a manager. Let's go back more than 40,000 years. Humans in Ice Age Europe were not building cities. They were not farming. They were not writing books. They were trying not to freeze, starve, or become lunch. Life was a survival game with no save button. And yet, they made art. They painted animals on cave walls. They carved strange figures. They buried the dead. They created symbols. That tells us something huge. They were not only thinking about food, they were thinking about meaning. One of the most famous clues is the Lion Man. It was found in Hollenstein-Stadel Cave in Germany. It is carved from mammoth ivory, and it is about 35,000 to 41,000 years old. That is older than farming, older than cities, older than written history. The Lion Man has a human body and the head of a cave lion, a creature that does not exist. So whoever made it was not just copying nature. They were imagining something beyond nature. Half human, half predator, fully terrifying. Was it a god? Maybe. Was it a spirit? Maybe. Was it a shamanic figure? Also maybe. Archaeology is detective work where the witness has been dead for 40,000 years. But the Lion Man shows that early humans were already blending humans, animals, and the supernatural. And that makes sense. Animals controlled prehistoric life. Reindeer meant food. Wolves meant danger. Mammoths meant meat. Bones, fat, tools, and also, please do not step on me. Cave lions were powerful hunters. Bears slept in caves and came back after winter, which probably looked like magic. Birds flew between earth and sky. Snakes disappeared underground. To early humans, animals were not just animals. They were powers, messengers, enemies, teachers, maybe even gods. Imagine you are a prehistoric hunter. You throw a spear. You miss. The deer escapes. Your whole group stares at you like you just deleted dinner. So you start wondering, maybe the deer has a spirit. Maybe the forest allowed it to escape. Maybe next time you need a ritual, a dance, a chant, a painting. Or maybe, Steve, you just need to throw better. This is why many researchers believe early religion may have been animism. Animism is the idea that animals, plants, rivers, stones, storms, and places have spirits, not one god above everything. More like everything is alive. The river has a mood, the mountain has memory, the forest has opinions, and the forest's opinion was often, try not to die today. But animals are not the only candidate. Another possible first god was the mother. Across Ice Age Europe, archaeologists have found small female figurines often called Venus figurines. Some are more than 25,000 years old. Many show exaggerated breasts, hips, or bellies. Some researchers think they may be linked to fertility, birth, survival, or the mystery of life. But we must be careful. We do not know exactly what they meant. They could have been fertility symbols. They could have represented ancestors. They could have been peaching objects. They could have been personal charms. Or they could have meant something we have completely lost. Still, birth was a huge mystery. In a world without hospitals, medicine, or baby formula, childbirth was dangerous and sacred. A pregnant body was not just biology. It was survival. One person becoming two. A new hunter. A new gatherer. A new storyteller, or a new guy who eats poisonous berries after being told not to. So maybe the first god was not a lion. Maybe it was life itself, a mother figure, the power to create humans. That is a pretty strong resume for first deity. But there is another powerful candidate, death. Before humans built temples, they buried the dead. Some Neanderthal burials, like those at Shanidar Cave in Iraq, have led to long debates about whether Neanderthals practiced ritual behavior. The famous flower burial idea is controversial, but the bigger question remains, why treat the dead carefully? Why place bodies in special ways? Why return to the same caves? At some point, humans began acting as if the dead still mattered, as if a body was not just a body, as if the person had gone somewhere. Maybe they could still hear you. Maybe they could guide you. Maybe they could visit dreams. Maybe they could get angry because you stole their necklace. Ancestor spirits may be among the oldest forms of religion. Before gods had names, the dead had faces. Your grandfather knew where the herds moved. Your grandmother knew which plants healed and which plants turned your stomach into a volcano. When they died, their knowledge did not feel gone. It felt nearby, in the cave, in the wind, around the fire. So the first god may have been the first person everyone missed, a dead ancestor becoming a spirit, beautiful and slightly creepy. Now jump forward to around 12,000 years ago, southeastern Turkey, a place called Göbekli Tepe. This site has massive T-shaped stone pillars, carvings of animals, and large circular structures. It was built before farming became fully common in that region. For years, people called it the world's first temple. Today, archaeologists are more careful. It may have been a ritual center. It may have also included settlement activity. Its exact purpose is still debated. But one thing is clear. Humans were organizing huge projects around symbols, gatherings, and sacred-looking spaces. That is a giant step. Belief was no longer just a tiny statue in a cave. It became architecture, labor, community, and probably a lot of prehistoric back pain. But Göbekli Tepe is much later than the Lion Man. So if we want the first god, we need to look earlier. Before temples, before farming, before named gods like Ra, Enlil, Zeus, or Odin. The first god was probably not one clear character. It was probably a feeling. A presence, a way to explain what humans could not control. Storms, birth, death, dreams, animals, fire, the sun, the moon, the dark, especially the dark. Because prehistoric night was not romantic. It was a horror movie with no electricity. Every sound mattered. A twig snapped. Everyone froze. Was it a deer? A wolf? A bear? Your cousin sleepwalking again? Nobody knew. So the darkness itself may have felt alive. And if something is alive, maybe you can talk to it. If you can talk to it, maybe you can bargain with it. If you can bargain with it, congratulations. You invented ritual. This might be the real beginning of gods. Not because ancient humans were stupid. They were not. Their brains were built to detect patterns. That skill kept them alive. If the grass moved, maybe it was wind. Or maybe it was a predator. The human who assumed predator survived. The human who assumed just wind became a lesson. So humans saw agency everywhere. The storm is angry. The river gives. The mountain watches. The dead speak in dreams. The lion man stands between worlds. That is not stupidity. That is survival mixed with imagination. And once humans had imagination, they had stories. And once they had stories, they had gods. Religion may have helped early humans cooperate. A shared ritual told the group, we belong together. We remember the dead. We respect the hunt. We follow the same rules. And no, Kevin, you cannot eat the sacred mushrooms. So who was the first god? We cannot name one, but we can see the shadows. The Lion Man suggests animal-human spirits more than 35,000 years ago. Venus figurines suggest deep concern with birth, bodies, and survival. Burials suggest death became more than an ending. Göbekli Tepe shows that by 12,000 years ago, humans could build massive symbolic places. So the first god may have been the lion in the dark, the mother who gives life, the ancestor in the dream, the sun that returns, the moon that changes, the thunder that sounds angry for absolutely no reason. The first god was probably whatever made prehistoric humans whisper, there is something more here. Before cities, humans built meaning. Before laws, they told stories. Before gods had names, humans felt them. In the fire, in the cave, in the bones of the dead, in the eyes of animals painted on stone. The first god was not born in a temple. The first god was born in fear, in hunger, in grief, in wonder. And in the terrifying moment when one prehistoric human looked into the darkness and thought, maybe the darkness is looking back And then someone probably said, "Okay, but can it help us find dinner?" If you enjoyed this story, leave a comment and let me know what topic you want me to cover next. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next video.